I've been doing some research and I think tofu makes the best cheese. Hear me out. Now, when I'm talking about cheese, I'm only currently talking about just a select few. Mozzarella, feta, and ricotta. Now, these are just the ones that I've done the research on. There's plenty of other cheeses that this is going to work for. Now, I'm only focusing on the cold versions of these cheese. Tofu doesn't melt. We haven't been able to do that yet. But essentially, tofu is made in a very similar way to cheese. The curd that's in cheese is curd from milk. The curd that's in tofu is curd from soybeans. Now, when I just went home for the holidays, one of the things that my mom always makes is pasta salad. Now, I know that's like a summer dish, but I'm telling you, my mom's pasta salad is really good, and you can have it at any time. And it's really easy. She just makes like a really simple pasta, adds some peppers, cucumbers. Now for the cucumbers, my mom has to take the skins off, so I've just kind of like done it this way. Now it's gonna be salt, a little bit of black pepper, Italian dressing, and cubed cheese. Wait. I know, don't get mad. That's not cubed cheese I'm putting in there. That's tofu. In this recipe, it works. You're getting a similar texture, a similar taste to dairy, but without the dairy. No lactose, no animal involvement whatsoever. And it's basic. Basic cheeses like cubed mozzarellas, sliced mozzarellas can easily be replaced by tofu. I mean, here, just listen what Monica has to say. Right?
This is great. This tastes like a block of cheese. Well, I have to be honest. You know me, I don't love just like
you don't like soft
tofu.
No.
And this is like not soft. This is however you did it. It's firm, like a piece of cheese.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Now you can make the tofu taste even more like a cheese by doctoring it up a little bit. I like to add just a little bit of salt and an acid. Cheese naturally is a little tart. You might not think about it that way because it doesn't taste like a Sour Patch Kid, but if you think about the tastes of cheese, it is soured milk. Now you can get the sour taste by using lemon juice. I like to use it and I did it here and it comes out really good. But you can also use lactic acid. Most lactic acid that you can find commercially is 100% vegan. It's not lactose or lactic. The name came from the fact that it was originally found in sour milk. This one comes from fermented beets. Now, along with that, I added a little bit of oil and also an oat milk. Now, I like to use like a barista oat milk, something that's gonna be a little thicker, something a little creamier. We're just gonna shake these up, toss them in the fridge, allow them to chill, and then when you make your pasta salad or whatever needs that cubed cheese like a salad or something, toss it on. You have yourself a very mild tasting like mozzarella, like cheese thing. Now, why would you wanna do this? It's tofu, it's soy. Can this actually be healthier? I mean, beyond being better for the animal, it looks like tofu, even though technically not a cheese, is better at being a cheese than cheese. It has less sodium, less fat, less carbs, and zero cholesterol. And although it has less protein, it still comes in at about 8 grams of protein per 100 grams, which is really nothing to balk at. I mean, that's pretty good.
Well, I can tell you right now, if you're a man, you better not have no tofu. What about that estrogen?
Not according to science. But wait, here is a scientific article that actually did find an increased level of estrogen and breast tenderness in a 60-year-old man, and it was thought to be associated with his soy intake, which was 12 cups of soy milk a day, or 3 quarts of soy milk every day. That is an insane amount of soy milk. Holy crap, do not drink that much milk. Do not drink that much of anything. Do we not know about things being in moderation? I think having a little bit every now and then and you'll be just fine. And in fact, new science is showing that the estrogens in plants are completely different than the estrogens in milk. That's because milk comes from a female cow, which is a mammal like us and produces estrogen in the same way, unlike the soybean, which is a plant. Yes, soy does have phytoestrogens, and our body does absorb them, but our body reacts to them different than mammal-based estrogens. So if you're one of the thousands of meat-eating, dairy-drinking dudes that calls me a soy boy on a daily basis, yes, in fact, my body has less estrogen, and I am more manly than you. So let's try to replace some of that excess estrogen that you might have from dairy and replace it with some soy. Now, one of the other cheeses I was talking about specifically was feta, which is incredibly easy to mimic with tofu, but first let me tell you about today's sponsor. Be smart, don't start, kick the habit, put it out, all phrases we've heard 100 times, yet we still continue bad habits. I had a really bad habit that I needed to break. I've talked about it in the past. If I was still doing it, Monica and I would not be together today. And I remember how much of a struggle it was to break that habit. And that's why I want to tell you about today's sponsor, Fume. They're on a mission to accelerate humanity's breakup with bad habits that consume too many of us. Fume is not a vape. It is a natural diffusive device that uses plants and behavioral science to help you trade out your negative habit for a positive one. It uses cores infused with plants like peppermint and cinnamon for a delicious natural flavor. I mean, you could really feel it. And the new version 2 is really like snappy and tactile. With adjustable airflow dial and magnetic end cap, your fingers will always have something to do. And getting through some bad habits in the past, I can totally see how Fume works. I mean, I absolutely love this thing. They have thousands of 5-star reviews from people just like you who've successfully switched when other solutions just didn't work. So gang, I'm telling you, you're gonna love this. Head to tryfume.com/Saucestache and use code Saucestache to save 10% when you pick up your Journey Pack today. The Journey Pack comes with 3 unique flavors and the new version 2 Fume to help kickstart your positive habits. That's tryfum.com/Saucestache and use code Saucestache. Get that extra 10% off your Journey Pack. Fume, thanks for sponsoring today's video and helping people kick all of those bad habits. Okay, we're back. So now it's time for that Beta Feta. Now, Feta is a little bit more of a crumbly cheese. It's a little firmer. So we're going to do a super firm or extra firm tofu. All we need to do is just drain that, dry it off, cube it up to your Feta size that you want. Then we're going to use a little bit of salt, lactic acid if you have it, apple cider vinegar. It's a pretty key flavor to this. A little bit of nutritional yeast and oregano to kind of round that out. Now, to give it its creaminess, we're going to go back to that oat milk or any other plant-based milk that you have. Put the lid on it, give it a shake, let it sit in the fridge, and you're going to have a Beta Feta in about 2 hours. Now, besides feta, ricotta is like one of my go-to cheeses that I love in almost all Italian cooking. I mean, anybody that's ever had lasagna knows that this is true. So let's make a plant-based lasagna using tofu as the only cheese, and I'm telling you it's going to be incredible. Now for this lasagna that serves 4, we're going to be using 2 blocks of tofu for the ricotta. Now we want to press this and press out all of the water. Now if you have a nut milk bag, it's going to make it a heck of a lot easier and really lose a lot of steps. This is actually like a Vietnamese coffee filter bag that I've repurposed for making nut milk, and I've used it a million times, but it actually works. So we're just going to put the tofu in here and squeeze the living heck out of it, get as much liquid out as we possibly can. Now once you're done squeezing, you're going to end up with a very similar ricotta-like texture. I'm going to transfer this over into a larger bowl so that we can mix in a few ingredients to give it a flavor, because right now this is pretty plain, it's pretty mild. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that oat milk that we've been using, along with some lemon juice, which is very important to the flavor of this ricotta, and some salt. And then just mix it up. That's really all that we need to do here. You want to make sure that the consistency is thick enough so that way it can hold itself together and stay like on a spoon, just like this, very similar to ricotta. And now I'm just going to toss this in the fridge for a few hours, just like all of our other cheeses. Now, you can make any plant-based lasagna you want. It's going to be pretty simple. I'm just going to use some noodles, throw it into the bottom of a pan, throw in some of the ricotta, maybe a little bit of the sauce. I'm adding mushrooms, onion, garlic, and spinach, and we're just going to layer that all up. I mean, and look at this. This looks amazing. This is a dairy-free lasagna. So now we're just going to toss it in the oven, bake it for a few hours, and when I pull it, I'm going to let it sit for just a moment. But when you pull this out, this looks like a ricotta-heavy, cheesy lasagna, and I cannot wait to see what Monica has to say.
Yeah. Oh my god. This works like 100%.
It's legit.
I would not know that this wasn't cheese.
You wouldn't know. I mean...
Yeah. And everything, the way you did it, the way you cooked it, it's really good.
You just wouldn't know. This is a legit cheese replacement.
It's really good. It's probably one of the more simple and better cheese replacements out there, you know?
Baby, trying all these. Do you think tofu makes a better cheese than cheese?
I do.
Yeah.
It makes so many different types of cheeses. It's really simple to mimic different types of cheeses.
Yeah.
All you
Tasty.
gotta do is flavor it and cook it the right way.
Yeah. It's tasty. It's better for you.
I had no idea you could make lasagna this good with tofu.
Yeah. I know you weren't expecting this one, but
I love it.
I really tried to nail it.
These are some of the best things that you've made.
Aw.
I don't know. I mean, all your food is really good. I hope you don't take that the wrong way.
Oh, thank you, baby.
But I mean, these turned out really good.
We were a little speechless with this one. We had a hard time describing it because it was amazing. But in the end, tofu actually makes the best cheese. That's in my opinion. I'm sure you're going to leave me yours.